Let's take a look at the starting lineup for today's event, brought to you by Splitfire. Enter the Performance Zone with Splitfire Performance V Spark Plugs. 6 consecutive top 10s for Brett Bodine. No finishes out of the top 10 for Phil Parsons. Randy LaJoie with 2 wins this year. Jeff Green, the winner at Las Vegas. You saw it here on TNN Motorsports. Dick Trickle from Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. Top 3 finish in the last couple of races. And with a 6th at Darlington, Buckshot Jones. Elton Sawyer was 2nd at Atlanta earlier this year, while Mark Green has 1 top 10 finish in 6 events this season. From Base Motorsports, you've got Tim Fedowa, along with Hermie Sadler. He's finished 2nd in the last 2 events here at Hickory. Elliott Sadler and Greg Sachs, who ran here for the first time back some 20 years ago. Row number 7 here today has Steve Park and Mike Dillon, a couple of the young stars in the NASCAR Busch Series. Dennis Setzer, the only former Busch Series winner at Hickory in today's field, and Jeff Fuller. Tracy Leslie and Glenn Allen, they will share row number 9, while row number 10 is Kevin LePage, celebrating his first anniversary with the Riddling Motorsports team, and Mike McLaughlin. As the field begins to roll, Sherry Robertson and Stevie Reeves will share row number 11. Row number 12, Tim Steele taking over for Jeff Purvis a couple of weeks ago, and Jason Keller. Johnny Chapman and Joe Bessie share row number 13. Tim Bender and 3rd generation star Jason Jarrett. He knows this track well. He'll start in 28th spot. Mike Olson down from the north. He'll start in 29th. Shane Hall will go 30th, and 31st is Randy Porter. That is the starting field for today's event, with $250,875 on the line. And why don't we take a look at all the numbers pertinent to today's race? The AutoZone race analysis brought to you by the more than 1,525 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. 300 laps around this racetrack. The track is banked 12 degrees in turns 1 and 2, 14 degrees in 3 and 4. What little straightaway there is, and we already heard your explanation, buddy, it's only 315 feet. I mean, that's literally nothing. And you've got 8 degrees of banking on those little straights. The field now getting the 1 to go signal, and they will be going racing the next time by. We, of course, have a number of in-car cameras for you today. Hermie Sadler, who finished 2nd here the last couple of races, he'll be taking us around the racetrack. Of course, Phil, a regular member of this broadcast crew, carries a camera each and every time that TNN has the NASCAR Busch Series for you. Dick Trickle, who starts 5th, will be taking us around this racetrack that measures .363 miles around. Also Kevin LePage, who's starting middle of the field. We are set to go racing. Again, 300 laps, 108.9 miles, and we are racing on Easter weekend at Hickory.
The inside groove here, definitely way around. You see Todd Bodine get that jump. Phil Parsons trying to get to the bottom there in front of Randy LaJoie.
Riding with Dick Trickle, 1 lap in the books, and a clean lap at that.
You see Phil Parsons in 2nd place in the 10 car there. He dropped back about 4 or 5 car lengths. These guys right now are really just kind of taking it easy. The racetrack's green, and you can see the cars are getting sideways coming up out of the corner at the moment.
Here goes Randy LaJoie with that battle against Phil.
Phil Parsons looked like he's a little bit loose up on the straightaway. There you see Jeff Green trying to work underneath him as well.
You know, Eli, this racetrack is like almost driving in sand. If you get in the throttle too much, the back end will jump right out from under you. You really have to be smooth on the throttle.
And that, folks, comes from a man who is a 3-time winner here at the Hickory Motor Speedway, Buddy Baker, as we ride with Phil Parsons. When we talk about the fact that we go X number of laps without a caution, the significance of that is that this racetrack in the decade of the 90s, only from 1990 through last year's race in 96, 22% of all the laps run here were run under caution. Good battle there for 4th now. Jeff Green makes the move and grabs it away from Phil Parsons. Oh, and they stack up in turn numbers 3 and 4. Shane Hall nose to the inside of the racetrack, but there is no caution. He will pull away. As you see, we remain under green.
Well, I can imagine Tim Bender was praying for a caution just then. He's about to go a lap down to Todd Bodine right now, so it would have been good for him to get that caution.
Here comes the lead pack. Again, the 17 trying to stay at the mercy of the leader right now and not go a lap down. Here goes the move around traffic. Here's what happened moments ago in 3 and 4. You see Robertson in the 40. You have others, Johnny Chapman there in the 89. Hall got around, and Shane Hall as well. Meanwhile, back up front, you see the leader, Todd Bodine, has gotten around the 17 of Tim Bender.
Phil Parsons, he just can't get to the bottom of this racetrack, and they just keep freight training on the inside.
That's 5th place on back. Elton Sawyer in the 38, Phil in the 10, Tim Fedewa in the 33.
See Tim Fedewa just under as they start off the corner there. Fedewa really didn't have a whole lot of practice time with this particular car. He had engine trouble yesterday and really didn't get to practice much, but they seem to be running quite well.
And remember, that right there is not for position. The 85 Shane Hall, he's the car who spun moments ago. Dick Trickle just trying to work around him in race traffic.
As we noted, these guys started by points, and they got an unusual practice this morning. Normally you don't get practice on race day, but because of the lack of practice yesterday, they got about 2 hours this morning.
That's a great shot right there. You think they don't get close in the corner? Look at this.
Shane Hall, the 85, as we ride with Dick Trickle looking rearward from the Duralube machine. Still, Phil Parsons, you see him right there, that light blue number 10, still can't get in line. That's Mark Green and that green and blue machine right there to Phil's inside. And they're just not letting him in line.
Yeah, and you can see Hermie Sadler's digging in on the inside there, so he really can't get himself down. But now he's all finally got a shot to get on the bottom of the track. Here
comes Elliott Sadler now. He'll be to the outside of Hermie Sadler here. The two Sadler brothers. Dennis Setzer had problems coming off the corner moments ago, just behind this pack of traffic, but he doesn't loop the car. Let's go check on what happened to Dennis Setzer. You see him in the 43 there, right of your screen with Steve Park.
Oh, man.
Yep.
That was a wreck that just didn't happen right there.
Meanwhile, back up front, it is still Todd Bodine, but Randy LaJoie has caught him. And that story is interesting because LaJoie had maybe 5 minutes of practice yesterday, went out early, lost an oil pump belt, engine problems followed, and they didn't get anything done before the rain set in for the rest of the day.
That car is named Ellie Mae, and I said, why in the world they call it that? It was one of Johnny Benson's favorite cars. They reskinned it, and they really love this race car on the short track.
It has won, that car has, at Nazareth, Pennsylvania. It has won at Indianapolis Raceway Park. It's the car they used in Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago after they wrecked their primary machine there. And Ellie Mae, with Randy LaJoie at the controls, is now leading here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. It is a sold-out grandstand here, not a seat to be had. Hope you're enjoying it where you are. We're coming right back. There you see the problems that Mike Olson in the number 61 has to bring out the caution. Here's what happened in turn number 2.
Come off turn 2. There you see Johnny Chapman getting loose, and right in front of Greg Sachs and
Mike Olson.
Mike Olson.
Yeah. And there you see the reason for the first caution flag of the afternoon. That man, Olson, is from the north, keeps his equipment at Bobby Dotter's shop here in the Carolinas. Bobby is here assisting as a, not so much crew chief, because he has his northern crew with him, but more of a supervisor, if you will. And there you see the Hunter Specialties group going to work on Greg Sachs's machine, who just couldn't get it wound down in time to avoid the accident. We are coming back. More from Hickory. It's still early. We'll be right back. We remain under caution here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. A chance for us to remind you about the new official stores of NASCAR. NASCAR Thunder locations now at the Gwinnett Place Mall in Atlanta, the Haynes Mall in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the Westtown Mall in Knoxville, Tennessee, and the Vista Ridge Mall in Dallas, Texas. And later this year, there'll be additional stores opening. 10 to 12 locations will be announced throughout the course of this year. NASCAR Thunder, that is the official store of NASCAR, and check them out in those locations or one that will be opening near you before too much longer. Randy LaJoie, the race leader, under the caution. Todd Bodine is second. Jeff Green is third. Dick Trickle is fourth. And Elton Sawyer is fifth. You'd already know that, though, if you were online on your computer right now at www.nascar.com. They give you all the updated information of NASCAR races as they unfold across the country. All the latest news, the scoring, all that garage information you'd like to get. Why not check it out? The official website of NASCAR. NASCAR online at www.nascar.com. While we continue with track cleanup, why don't we give you an interesting tech fact brought to you by the more than 1,525 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
NASCAR Winston Cup Series and NASCAR Busch Series are probably two of the safest divisions of motorsports in the country today. Right now, we're trying to develop something that's going to take it one step closer to being as safe as we can possibly make it. Normally what we've had is, and always in NASCAR Winston Cup and Busch Series racing, is a regular window net that is basically flush with the area of the outside of the car. This is for driver's impact, you know, to keep things from inside or outside of the car. It's just a safety precaution. What we've done, we've seen a little bit of a problem lately with the driver's head coming and sliding and slinging so far in an impact towards the window net area. So with the help of Bill Simpson and Simpson Race Products, Jeff Burton, our driver, and Tony Liberati, our co-car chief, they've designed a new inner, it's sort of like a sprint car type net, but it's a little bit stronger. We've got a ratchet area, we can ratchet it tight in the back of the car. And what it is about 6 or 8 inches closer to the driver's head. So if in the event of an impact, his helmet will hold in this net here before it ever gets to the outside window net. We think this is just going to continue to make NASCAR Winston Cup Series and NASCAR Busch Series two of the safest lines of motorsports in the world.
Well, there you see the nets, and of course the driver's side net there on the Kevin LePage machine that we are riding with right now. And buddy, I'll tell you, any extra ideas for safety, you got to be all for it.
You cannot make the left side of that race car too safe. Anything they do really helps, and that is one thing you never want to see is the driver's head get towards the outside of the race car.
Well, that's the thing, you know, and what we've been taught working with all the manufacturers, Ford and GM, is try to get your driver in a capsule. Try to get his head in a capsule, his shoulders, and just get it where on impact, his body, his head especially, just moves the least amount upon impact.
So that's what's going on in the shops around the world of NASCAR Winston Cup and Busch Series racing. Carl Simmons giving the field the 1-to-go signal. He is backed up on the flag stand by Johnny Norton. Dennis Dillard behind the wheel of the safety vehicle here at Hickory. And we are about set to go green. Randy LaJoie, Todd Bodine, Jeff Green, Dick Trickle, Elton Sawyer, Tim Fedewa is 6th. Mark Green will go 7th, ahead of Phil Parsons, Hermie Sadler, and Elliott Sadler.
Have 3 cars out of the lead lap right now. They're the cars on the right side you see there.
Again, Shane Hall, the 85. Johnny Chapman, that black number 89, not on the lead lap. Of course, across the top of the screen, you'll see that rundown brought to you all afternoon by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running, and we'll keep that scroll going across the top of the screen so you'll know where your favorite driver is running.
Great move by Shane Hall. He got the jump on Randy LaJoie and now made up one of his laps.
He needs that caution to come out right now.
So Shane Hall now still on the tail end of the lead lap, but nevertheless, if he does get that caution, as you say, he'd be able to come back on around. Meanwhile, Jeff Green, the white machine, number 8, running in 3rd spot. Matt Yoakum, a good run for him.
Eli, before the race today, Jeff told me, he says, well, our car is pretty good, but we're just missing something. So I walked down the garage and talked to my brother David, who happened to be just here watching this weekend because they're off in the Winston Cup Series. David won 4 straight poles here in the race here last year. We compared my chassis notes with what he ran. He said, you know what? This is what you need. He told him a little secret. I think it's going to be on his way to front today.
I guess the bottom line is you've got to be able to turn in the middle of the corner here. I mean, that's not an Einstein-like statement, but it's really a factor here at a track like Hickory.
Eli, it's not how fast you get in the corner, it's how fast you can get off. And one thing you do here, you overdrive the racetrack if you drive in too hard.
Jeff Green with 3 top 10s already in 1997. Riding with Dick Trickle right now. He's in 4th. Lap number 44 on the board of 300. Quick race, though, 108.9 miles. There you see the battle now for second spot. Give it to Green as he'll go around Todd Bodine.
Todd Bodine has a little bit of a handling problem. You can see him get really loose getting into the corner right there. That can be 2 things on the short track. But right now, he's fighting a handling problem, and he's actually in the way of the cars that are trying to get by him at the moment.
Don't know if you can see it too clearly there, but he's really sawing on that steering wheel. There goes Dick Trickle now to the inside of Todd. That's the 3rd. And they've got Elton Sawyer right behind and Tim Fedewa as well. They aren't intending to let Todd Bodine back in line.
Todd really struggling to keep that car on the bottom. You know, buddy, what you talked about a while ago, when I talked to a lot of the crew chiefs and drivers, what a lot of them are struggling with is they go through the center of the corner. The minute they pick the throttle up, the front end would want to shove. The front end just wouldn't bite. You'd have the wheels cut so far, then you'd lose the rear end of the car as you go up on the straightaway. A lot like we would do at Wilkesboro with the Winston Cup car.
Something is wrong with Hermie Sadler's car in turn number 2. There's Hermie. We're riding with him right now. He has backslid significantly and is either water or sparks, or can't really tell. It's so bright out. But looking at the rear of the car, there's caution on the Speedway as Johnny Chapman spins in turn number 4. The leaders have taken the caution, and it comes at a good time for Hermie Sadler because he's got big-time problems on the DeWalt car.
I would imagine Johnny Chapman's getting a little tired of this repeat performance. He spun just a few minutes ago and brought out the first caution. Here he is again. A lot of damage on the right front corner of that car, too.
That's the break that Shane Hall was needing. Know that lets him go all the way around and catch up to the back of the field.
Indeed. So he gets himself back on the lead lap and can stay there now. There's also a problem. We see a little smoke from behind the 99 of Glenn Allen Jr. as the Luxair car goes up in the corner. We're just kind of looking from our perch right now as we see the race leader, Randy LaJoie. Matt Yoakum, give us an update.
Eli, I just talked with the DeWalt team. They think they have a right front tire going down, so they're going to bring him in and take a look. And yes, it definitely is down. Now, under the rules, they can only change that tire under yellow. So he's going to get a new right front tire. A quick update on Todd Bodine. He's complaining that his car is loose, so he's just going to hang on until the 100 lap mark.
So there you see Hermie leaving. There's Glenn Allen Jr. We saw a little water before under the back of the Luxair car.
Boy, what a time to get a caution. If you got a flat tire like Hermie Sadler had just now, he would have lost 2 or 3 laps trying to change that tire into the green. I tell you, that was a big break for Hermie Sadler.
It really was. You know, and again, he can only change that tire like Matt spoke of. He can only change that tire that was flat. It's going to take that tire a little bit to come in and get with the other 3 tires, but that'll still be a good advantage having that fresh right front tire.
So the defending NASCAR Busch Series champion Randy LaJoie is showing the way here at Hickory. We work the second caution of the afternoon. We are back green here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. There you see the battle for the lead. Randy LaJoie, the 74. The 8 now is Jeff Green as they work through the corner and back to the stripe. Lap number 59 on the board of 300 here today.
You talk about the action picking up when this front bunch gets into lap traffic. You talk about tight. Right now, Jeff Green is all over the back of Randy LaJoie, as you can see right there. And when they get into lap traffic, that's really going to pick up the dance program.
Don't forget the guy in 3rd place now, Dick Trickle right there. He ran here 26 years ago the first time in Harry Gant's backup car. And on that day, as Trickle said today, Harry won as Joe Bessie spins in turn 3. He He said that Harry Gant won that day, and Trickle said, I came home in second. It's still green as everybody goes, as you see, beneath Joe Bessie, but caution is now being displayed. Bessie unable to move, and caution is on the speedway as Joe Bessie spins in turn number 3. Caution at lap number 62. We'll take another look and see exactly what happened, fellas, buddy.
See Joe Bessie right there. There's a little contact down the front back straightaway there. You see Hermie Sadler, whoa, just barely gets under the bottom side there.
Looked like he and Mike Dillon, like you say, we saw smoke come up. They had touched, obviously. And there's the crew now going to work on Joe Bessie's Power Team Chevrolet as they're in for service at lap number 63. Very interesting sponsor right there. You know what Power Team is? It's a company that brokers electricity from one portion of the country to another when there's a need in one area of the country. If it's real hot and everybody's using their air conditioning and stuff, this company will take power from Las Vegas and sell it to the power company in Alabama or something. It's a very interesting, I didn't know it existed even.
I knew that.
Well, good. I didn't have a clue.
It's pretty amazing where sponsorships is headed on these cars here.
Coming up next weekend, of course, these same NASCAR Busch Series teams will be heading to the new Texas Motor Speedway, the Coca-Cola 300, Saturday, April the 5th, 2 o'clock Eastern on CBS Sports. That's coming up next Saturday. And, of course, the NASCAR Winston Cup teams and the Interstate Batteries 500 a week from tomorrow, 2 o'clock Eastern time, all on CBS Sports. And then TNN will re-air the NASCAR Busch Series event, an encore presentation of that Coca-Cola 300 on Saturday, April the 12th at 11:30 p.m., 11:30 in the evening on Saturday, April the 12th. We saw Hermie Sadler up there before, involved real close to Joe Bessie's problem. Watch this. Let's ride with Hermie.
Okay, you can see the 6 car coming down. They go through turn 1. They start down towards the back straight. Little hit right there. They make contact again as they go down through the back straightaway. You can see they're highly, well, we won't see it, but what happened is the Dillon car got over into Joe Bessie's car going down the back straightaway. They made contact, turned him around, and Hermie Sadler almost went head on it.
And the thing about it, the groove is so narrow over there. Eli, you talked about it in an opening, bull ring.
Yeah.
That's what we're here at Hickory. If you win the race, you're going to go home and put 2 sides on these race cars.
Now, most of these teams realize that. They expect it'll be beaten and banged on just a bit. They've got their Richmond cars, their Vegas cars, what have you. But, yeah, pretty much everybody says, when we're done with this one, put it in mothballs a while. Got time to get it fixed up before South Boston and Myrtle Beach later in the year. Let's go back again to Hermie Sadler's in-car. Let's take you all the way through and just watch what happens.
Larry, let's walk through this together. You can see the 6 car Bessie there on the outside. Dillon makes contact with him right there. The wreck actually started a lap before it actually happened. Now they're going down the back straightaway. Oh, I see what happened then. The 6 car Bessie went over into Dillon and spun his own self out.
We're about a half lap from green, Matt Yoakum. What you got?
Well, Hermie Sadler's crew tells me after the caution before, they came in quickly, pulled off the tape on the grill. The car is now cooled back down, but there is a problem with overheating on the 43 of Dennis Setzer. They're going to cut some holes in the grill when we get to that 100 lap mark.
We are at lap 67, 68 now going up on the board. Green flag, and we're back to work after the 3rd caution of the day. Randy LaJoie, the leader. The white car, number 8, Jeff Green in second. Leaders beating and banging further behind them. I love this kind of racing.
So do I. I love it when it's 2 inches apart and sometimes no inches apart. When they start rubbing, I love this racing. I'm just glad I don't have to fix them like you do, Larry.
There's a good scramble right there. The 38 is Elton Sawyer. The 33 is Tim Fedowa. You're watching it from Phil Parsons, who's running in the 8th spot right now. Just ahead of him is Jeff Green, or at least Mark Green, correct myself. He's in the 7th spot. Jeff is up in 2nd now. Todd Bodine trying to work through some race traffic. That black car 89 not on the same lap. Johnny Chapman involved in spins earlier.
You know, Larry, you can see that Bodine is really not handling quite well. He's going back through the field right now. He's just barely able to hold on to any type of position at all.
And we got a good shot there. You got actually see him sawing the steering wheel. That shows that that car is not going through the middle of the corner, not getting up off the corner. You almost saw him slide right there. So he's got 25 laps till he gets that caution at lap 100. I'm sure they're going to make some adjustments on that car.
Mike Olson, he has retired his car for the day after being involved in an accident back on lap 26. He is now called in an afternoon, so the first retiree from this Galaxy Foods event.
You know, buddy, they talked about some of these cars running hot. It's warm here today. I mean, it feels like it's 100 degrees up in this booth. I'm sure it's a lot more than that down there on that racetrack. And they run so many cautions. You know, some of them run electric fans, some of them run actually a steel-bladed steel fan with a shroud. And you get the beating and banging, you knock the nose in, and as they said, they left some tape on the grill. You're going to have to run these cars wide open here at Hickory. You're going to be on the verge of running hot.
That's 8th place you're watching right now. Phil Parsons and Mike McLaughlin. Oh, and spins in front of them. Up into the wall goes Tim Bender. Caution is on the Speedway. Bender in 28th position, just ahead of that battle we were watching.
Boy, that car has a lot of damage to the rear there, and I can see some fluid coming out of the back of the car there. Hopefully it's water and not fuel.
So caution on the Speedway, 4th time. It comes out at lap number 78. And watch it again from Phil Parsons' car. We were riding with Phil. Watch what happens. Well, got side by side with another machine there. Johnny Chapman, the 89. It was Chapman who got into the corner with Chapman. And that, or at least with Bender, I should say. Chapman and Bender, and that was the problem. We're under caution. We're coming right back. Welcome back, everybody. You look at the damage to the front of the Channel Lock Chevy of Phil Parsons. By the way, if you're curious, we are calling this race the Galaxy Foods 300. It's 300 laps. You're seeing all of our fancy graphics that call it the Galaxy Foods 400. When this race finishes, there is a 100-lap event for the late model stock cars that run here on a weekly basis, also sponsored by the folks at Galaxy Foods. So hence you've got 400 laps of the day, but only 300 for this particular race. So didn't want you to get kind of curious as to what was going on. Let's take another look or so at that wreck that brought out the caution here for the 4th time.
Well, you can see Johnny Chapman inside of Bender there. Boy, there's nothing you can do once you take off backwards like that. And Bender had a lot of damage to his car there, and it was leaking fuel all the way around the racetrack. That's why we're having such a long caution here.
Here's how Kevin LePage saw it. And there's the aftermath off to his right as he goes by. So that's the reason we're into caution. 4th time today here at the Hickory Motor Speedway as the NASCAR Busch Series attacks the first bull ring of the 1997 schedule. Hey, you ever wonder what Ray Evernham and Steve Bird do at 6 in the morning at a bagel shop? Let's find out from the folks at Peerless Faucet. They do it for yourself faucet with this feature.
When you're a crew chief, you don't sleep much. When you're a crew chief from the north, you're looking for a place to get a good bagel and coffee. I ran into Steve Bird at 6 o'clock this morning at the bagel bin. Steve, Busch Grand National Racing kind of dominated that sport, that deal. I mean, in the less than 10 years, 3 championships, 3 different drivers, 2 different kinds of race cars, almost another championship with Kenny Wallace, and again a different kind of race car. Is there a formula?
Well, I don't know if there's a formula. I like to have a lot of fun. In racing, you know, we're from New England, and if you want to make money, you got to move south and make money. It's just been great. I've had, you know, 4 great drivers. They've all moved up to Winston Cup racing, and you got to have a good team. And Base Motorsports with Billy Nazarick and Jimmy Fitzgerald, we got a good team.
Got a good crew chief, too. One of the best races that I've ever seen engineered as another crew chief was Homestead, Florida last year. I was so impressed by what you guys did. You crashed early, got the car fixed, kept it on the lead lap, and then figured out, calculated a pit stop to take just enough fuel to know that you had to come out in front of David Green. What goes through your mind when you do something like that?
Well, Homestead, my stomach was turning, there's no doubt. We wanted to win that championship, but you know, when he got in that accident and the guy says, oh man, we're done. I says, hey boys, we ain't done yet. The checkered flag ain't dropped. And them guys all pulled together and, you know, we got that car fixed. We got it handling better. And if he had enough gas, I think he probably would have won it because he was running third. He said, boys, I think we can win this. I said, no, Randy, you ain't got enough gas, you know. So he backed off. Everybody pulled together. It's just a great tribute to a team. You know what teamwork is, and it's a great team, Base Motorsports.
Indeed, it is a great team. And there is Randy LaJoie, for whom Steve Bird works. Of course, the other part of that team, Tim Fedewa, the Kleenex entry.
Think racing hadn't changed the South. Bagel shop? Come on.
Exactly.
There you see the front end of Phil Parsons. As Carl was talking a while ago, see how it's all caved in? There's an aluminum box behind that grill work that directs the air through the radiator. And when you crunch it up like that, the air spills off, and that will definitely make the car run hot.
Well, that's what transpires there. We're still seeing a little water venting from behind the Glenn Allen Jr. automobile. We'll keep an eye on that for you. There he is, the number 99. When he gets up to any kind of racing speed, the overflow begins to spit out that fluid. Tim Bender has taken his car to the garage. He is done for the day, joining Mike Olson as the two retirees. Green flag. Greg Saxon, that green and gold car, wanted to get a lap back. Couldn't do it.
Boy, Randy LaJoie certainly wasn't having any part of that. He moved into that corner very, very hard. Jeff Green now cleared back. So that brings the first three cars. A pretty open racetrack now.
They're going to get that caution in about 10 to 11 laps. So I guess if I'm a crew chief and I'm talking to one of these top three guys, I'm saying, guys, let's get to that lap 100, get some adjustment, get some fresh tires, and let's just settle down here.
The NASCAR timing and scoring recap across the top of the screen, presented by MCI, as they bring you all that goes on here today. And if you're just joining us and weren't with us when we signed on the air about 46 minutes ago, we'll mention again that caution that Larry McReynolds is alluding to is one that NASCAR will throw today at lap 100 and again at lap 200 to ease the congestion on the pit lane, a very tight racetrack last year with 2 and 3 wides parking, if you will, on the pit lane. It got to be a little unmanageable. The NASCAR is going to throw cautions today. The laps will not count, and you won't lose any positions in the exchange.
You see Elton Sawyer there running in fourth place, trying to get by Greg Sachs. It looks to me at the bottom of the racetrack is now getting a little greasy. Sachs is running on the outside there, not giving up an inch in the past 4 laps.
That's definitely the best we've seen anybody working that second groove. Actually pulling ahead a little bit down the backstretch there.
Remember, they're not battling for position. Sachs is a lap down to Elton Sawyer. Oh, and trouble in turn 4.
Tim Steele's involved in 4 car there. 63 of Tracy Leslie spin. They're trying to get back to the flag before
Here come the leaders.
Tracy Leslie's going to make it. Tim Steele, I believe he did make it.
The caution is on the Speedway. Lap number 95. Caution as Tim Steele driving the 4 and Tracy Leslie in the 63 spin in turn number 4. It happens in a hurry here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. As we mentioned, 22% of all laps run here in the 90s run under caution, but the other 78%, you more than get your money's worth. I promise you that. I promise you that.
We may get a restart here before that lap 100. There's about 4 laps to go, so we may get a couple laps of racing in before they actually go to that caution.
Eli, we might also add every seat in the place is sold.
Yeah, Benny Yamp, the president of the track, came to us, oh goodness, early this morning and said, fellas, we've done it. Every seat is sold. We're going to sell some standing room now, and once that gets to be too much, we'll just shut her down for the day. And look at that grandstand. I mean, there is, and you know, people say, well, Easter weekend. Heck, they have run here on Easter Sunday in the past and turned people away. And that's what this part of the country loves about the short track racing. 1 to go. We're getting a restart again at lap number 98. They'll go a couple of laps before NASCAR throws that caution again at lap number 100 that we had talked about earlier. If you're curious about some of the guys in the middle of the field, we've seen Hermie Sadler and Kevin LePage get together. Watch this a few moments ago. Here comes Hermie.
Buddy. Go high, go high, go high.
Pardon me.
I believe Hermie beat him back to the gas right there.
That's what this track is about.
Been there and done that.
I bet you have. I bet. Green flag, and Greg Sachs get a lap back. Here they come to the stripe. They're 2 laps from that caution, and Sachs is there this time. Greg Sachs knows there's going to be a caution thrown in a lap and a half from now. Can he get his lap back?
Eli, he's been working really well in that second groove up there. Randy LaJoie is losing ground. Greg Sachs, he's going to make that lap up.
They go into the corner. Carl Simmons, the flag man, has the caution in hand, coming towards that 100-lap break. To the stripe. Caution. And Sachs has gotten his lap back. Greg Sachs launched, as Rusty Wallace likes to say, launched on that restart and kept everybody at bay. Good job for Greg Sachs. And caution is on the Speedway, lap number 100. And again, you can come in now and make your stop.
Let's do it as quick as we can.
You listen in now to the Dennis Setzer team there.
Make sure you look everything over and be right.
Glenn Allen in that exchange also made up a lap, so everybody got through there pretty well on that restart.
And just to save confusion now, this caution is going to be 5 laps. None of these laps are going to count, and you can stay in the pits for at least 4 of those laps. They want you back on the racetrack and in line when they give the 1 to go, but the crews don't have to be in a flurry trying to get them back out there, because the thing about it here, with the cars all the way around the racetrack, about the minute you get in your pits, the pace car's coming back around.
So all of these pit stops should be very much routine. Again, you'll have time to make your stops, no pressure. Just do whatever you would normally do, and everybody will come back on the racetrack in the exact same position that they were in moments ago. Welcome back, everybody, to the Hickory Motor Speedway, the Galaxy Foods 400. We thought these were going to be routine pit stops, but Buddy Baker, looks like we've found old faithful here.
Well, Eli, you're running almost 220 degrees of water temperature, and when you slow down, you cut down on the amount of air going in the front of the car, and all of a sudden, the water temperature goes to 260, and this is what happened.
We've seen it on this machine. We saw it on the on the Kevin LePage machine. That's the problem he had moments ago. We saw Buckshot Jones' car having problems. Dennis Setzer's machine right there.
And that's the thing. These things can stand to run maybe even 230, 240 on the racetrack. But when they slow down and they start pushing the water out, that's when they get in trouble. And it's almost hard to overcome.
Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Guys, we talk about overheating. Dennis Setzer's car has reached 280. He says the motor's starting to tighten up a little bit. They're going to try to cut some holes in the front ballast to get some air into the car. Now up front, bad news for everybody else. Randy LaJoie says his car is great. They didn't make any chassis adjustments, just 4 tires, and he was down and away. Now Todd Bodine, his car got progressively loose over the course of the run. They adjusted his car with a little bit of wedge and track bar, and the same goes for Mike McLaughlin.
Now the fellows with the overheating problems, remember, you have Buckshot Jones. He was running in 10th spot. You've got Dennis Setzer in 12th, Kevin LePage in 15th position. So we'll keep our eyes on all of those fellas as we are about set to go back to green. Green flag in the air, lap 101 now. Again, the laps during the caution did not count. Now we're back to work at lap 101.
Notice it was a single file restart. Everybody just went back to where they was when the caution come out, and it was a single file restart. No
Even the lap cars.
Even the lap cars.
Even the lap cars. It wasn't just the leaders moving to the front. You stayed physically exactly where you were.
I was watching Dennis Setzer's car. He said that he was having a problem until that car cooled down a little bit. He's afraid to put his foot back in. He's about to go a lap down.
This battle for the lead is going to be a good one right here. Randy LaJoie and Jeff Green.
Yeah, Randy didn't work on that car, but he wasn't looking in the mirror very much. Jeff Green was eating him up before that caution come out.
It'll be interesting to see if Randy's car gets a little bit better as they go, as Jeff Green moves under him coming off turn 3.
LaJoie's had the lead since lap 20.
Right now, what Randy has to do is really hold him down and not let him have a good run up out of the corner. See Jeff Green fighting back very hard on the inside there.
Buddy, that's what you call door handle to door handle right there.
That's it. That's short track racing at its best, and these guys are going at it.
For the lead.
There you see Mr. Trickle moving into the picture right there.
Yeah, when they run side by side like that, Trickle's back there using the whole racetrack, using that groove that he wants for his car. And I tell you, Tim Feeder was moving in there very well in the 33 car in 5th place.
We're at lap 107.
One of these guys will get tired of this side-by-side before too long, especially when Dick Trickle gets up there and gives him a little root. Just pops him every once in a while.
Randy just can't quite get back down to the inside of the racetrack. There you heard the spotter tell him clear, and he's back in front. You know what I was going to say a while ago? These guys talked about when they put fresh tires on that the cars would feel pretty loose at first to the air pressure built up.
Pit stop now for Jerry Robertson. He has a left rear tire that was going flat. He'll make an unscheduled stop at lap number 110.
Well, what Jeff Green's doing in 2nd place there, he cannot run on the very bottom. Now he's trying to get back up under Randy LaJoie, but they're fixing to get into lap traffic. You don't want to be side by side when you get in lap traffic.
If you're a Joe Bessie fan, he makes an unscheduled stop at lap number 111. The crew going to work on the right of his car. Meanwhile, we watch this great battle for the lead.
Randy just can't keep his car down coming up off the corner. That's where Jeff almost gets a nose up under him.
Look at the first 4 cars now. Tim Feeder was moved into 4th place there, and he is right on the back bumper of Dick Trickle. Great job for him. I think it's probably the best race for him all year long.
Tim Feeder averaging a 20th place start and a 16th place finish. So this is far and away one of those afternoons he's been looking for. We're coming right back. Yes, Carl Simmons is again showing the caution, and it was a big-time one in the battle for the lead. LaJoie had lost the lead to Jeff Green. Then they came battling back. Let's take you back a lap or so ago and follow it. This was the battle for the lead.
All right, that's down the backstretch going into turn 3. There you see Jeff Green under him. Randy just not working right there on the exit.
Okay, we can hear the spotter say you're running him too clean. You can see he lays on Randy LaJoie just a little bit to get by and make the pass. Now, when you do that, there's a price for that. Watch Randy LaJoie here.
You have a wicked laugh, you know that?
Let me tell you, I've been in that spot, and it does make you mad when they wash you out like that.
So we are under caution for the 7th time this afternoon. Lap number 119 of 300 on the board. Randy LaJoie is still the leader. Green flag in the air. Welcome back to the Hickory Motor Speedway. Randy LaJoie the leader. As soon as everything sorts out here, we will show you some other replays of a Hermie Sadler spin a short while ago, and again what went on a few moments ago between LaJoie and Jeff Green.
Well, Randy LaJoie is running first in the Steve Bird prepared car, and in 3rd place, Speedway has moved in there. I mean, they brought 2 cars to the track that running 1st and 3rd right at the moment.
And Jeff Green, even with all that mess of before, he has only gone where he is to 5th. He's only backslid to 5th, so he's still very much in the picture here today.
I think it was a situation when he spun, the front straightaway was blocked so bad by his car, everybody just basically had to stop till he got going, and that's how he held that position.
Let's go back again and show you some of the incidents that took place a moment ago and bring you up to speed. Riding with the Hermie Sadler car. We told you Hermie had a spin a while ago. He went off the corner. His spin came right off of turn number 2. He's in 1 right now.
I believe he got tagged from behind just a little bit because you saw the steering wheel jerk. That's normally an indication somebody tapped you from behind.
And now here's Dick Trickle's view of Jeff Green and Randy LaJoie.
Well, you can see Jeff go over in into Randy just a little bit. Randy goes down there, his foot slips off the brake, and bang! I'm being nice, folks.
And look, how does Trickle even know where to go there? I mean, his view is totally blocked. As we take you back to green, and there you see Elton Sawyer in the 38 and Jeff Green in the 8. There comes his brother now. That's Mark Green in the 37.
You see the damage on the right front corner of the 8 car there. It might have knocked the toe end out just a little bit. That car is not running like it was before the spin.
And one thing else that could have happened, he spun those tires pretty hard. He could have what we call flat spotted the tires. That'll make a pretty wicked handling race car that he can get those things off there.
We are at lap 132. Just joining us, 7 cautions. 2 teams in the garage area, Mike Olson and Tim Bender, and now Jerry Robertson taking his car to the pit lane. Oh, spinning is Tim Steele on the main straightaway, and oh, here comes Stevie Reeves, who just couldn't avoid him, and caution is on the speedway. Oh, Stevie was, you could just tell, you could almost put yourself in the seat and say, which way should I go?
There's not a lot of choices coming off 4 here, and it just a lot of damage to that Tim Steele car right there.
You know, people don't realize, just watching on TV, from the center of the corner to the straightaway is just hundreds of seconds. So, I mean, you're in it if you see it almost.
Lap 134, caution on the speedway, and a good bit of damage on the James Finch-owned number 4. We're coming back. More from Hickory in a moment. Welcome back with Larry McReynolds, Buddy Baker, and Matt Yoakum, Eli Gold at Hickory. We're a lap from going green. Let's take a look again at what transpired off turn number 4 before, and the indecision as to which way to go. That was a spin of earlier with Jeff Green going around.
Go there. Clear second place. Go high, go high. Good job, baby.
There you hear the spotter really pumping up that driver. That spotter's really important as we go back to green here.
And we are back to green at lap 139.
See Trickle trying to get under Johnny Chapman there. He'd like to have a lot of racetrack to try to run down the 74 car of LaJoy. Time that gets by, now they ought to really pick up the pace here. You know, Todd Bodine was struggling just a little while ago. He's moved into 4th spot. You can see him just behind there in that yellow car. He's really moving up on the lead bunch right now.
Works inside of Johnny Chapman in the 89, who is not on the lead lap.
This car definitely working better than it did in that first 100 laps.
We're at lap 141. Matt, what has Clyde McLeod and the bunch done on Todd's car?
Eli, let's find out. Clyde, what is Lord? You made some adjustments over the last stop. What did you do, and how is your car now?
Car, Stanley Pontiac started out very loose, Wes, and we don't know if it was a mismatched set of tires or what, but we've made some changes to tighten it up. It's not too bad now. If anything's a little tight off.
Well, he's currently running 4th. He's never won here at Hickory. He'd like to end that mark today.
Todd's wife, Lynn, had a birthday a couple of days ago. We want to wish her a happy birthday. There's Jack Mann also celebrating a birthday today. John Fabian is turning 42 today on that team.
Buddy, you heard him say their car's just a little bit tight. I would say you don't want it pushing here, but you could run around here a lot faster, a lot longer.
Oh, up goes Jason Jarrett. Jason the Jet Jarrett goes high into the corner. No caution, not at all. He was running in 17th spot, Jarrett was. No, he's going into the wall again in turn 1 as he can't steer the automobile now.
I think he got into the wall so hard that it rubbed into the tire and blew the right front tire out, and he went right into the wall at the end of the front straightaway.
Caution is on the speedway.
Jason Jarrett, 3rd generation driver, the son of Dale, the grandson of Ned, brings out the caution here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. We're coming back as the NASCAR Busch Series runs the Galaxy Foods 300. The spotters high atop the grandstand as we are halfway through the Galaxy Foods 300 here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. How valuable are the spotters? Just listen in to this of a moment or so ago.
Go there. Clear second place. Go high, go high. Good job, baby. All right, we're going to have to come back in. Let's get in and get that hood.
That's Kevin LePage's spotter telling him what to do and then saying, well done.
Well, see, what was good about the spotter there is Kevin could not see the wreck because he was tucked up right behind Hermie Sadler, and that's where a spotter is so valuable. I would say this would be about like spotting at Bristol. Things are happening so fast.
And also a cheerleader. You can hear him saying, good job, man, and that kind of brings that driver back. Let's get after it now.
Jason Jarrett back on the racetrack. He was having a very respectable run in 17th, and they have replaced with a couple of parts and pieces. He's lost a couple of laps. He's in 25th, but Jason Jarrett still out there running it. We're back to green at lap 152. Randy LaJoie showing the way. Took the lead most recently at lap 118.
Larry, this first four are really getting tight here. As you can see, Dick Trickle in the 64 on the bottom side there. He's fighting for every inch right now. Just behind him, 10 feet, we're moving in there.
All four of these cars are really working good. They're really pretty equal right now.
You can see as they go down in the corner from that shot right there, they run right up on the back bumper, and then they accelerate off. One thing you don't want to do is overrun your tires right now.
And that's what you see right here. This is going into the corner right there. Tim Fiedler pulls right up on Dick Trickle, but he pays the price on the exit of the corner. It's like he's overdriving the entrance just a little bit.
There you see Trickle and Fiedler. Trickle driving for Shoemaker Racing. Fiedler, the second car in the other car, shall we say, in Base Motorsports stable.
Fiedler's car really gets in the corner good. He's hanging right with Dick there off the corner.
You know, Elton Sawyer in the 38, just behind this group right here, is doing a great job. Ford has never won here at Hickory in the Busch Grand National Races. You can see him running a very, very strong fifth right at the moment.
We watch Fiedler right there, back in the top 10 in points. He is 10th after starting and finishing 14th at Darlington a weekend ago. Meanwhile, Jason Jarrett, we told you, running in 25th position. Couple now make it 3 laps down. He's 3 laps in arrears. Let's get a thought or two from his pit area, Matt.
Dale Jarrett's watching Jason's target on top of the truck. Dale, how's the car now?
It's speed up a little now, but that's to be expected. He was doing a great job. He just got in a little bit high, a little hard going into 3. Not much room for error here, but awful proud of him. Did a good job.
Yeah, the main goal for Jason today was just long miles. Don't worry about the finish. And he's got to run another late model race later tonight.
Jason Jarrett entering his 4th season of racing here at Hickory. Began in the limited division and picked up a rare win during that rookie season. He was always in the top 5 here last year, and there you see the history of the Jarrett family here with Ned. Not only the track champion, he owned the place too. He was the promoter, did it all, sold hot dogs, took tickets. Ned was a jack of all trades here at Hickory. And of course, Dale Jarrett, who won here in the NASCAR Busch Series, and now Jason Jarrett. As we go back up front, you see the spread from 1st to 2nd to 3rd. And now here's a good brotherly battle. 6th and 7th spot there for Jeff Green in the 8th, Mark Green in the 37.
You know, I think Mark Green might be a little bit quicker than Jeff is, but you don't want to wreck your brother, but he's doing everything he can to get under him right now and get that spot.
And you know, we spoke earlier, whether it be toe out or whether it be flat spotted tires, that car is just not what it was before that spin while ago.
NASCAR timing and scoring across the top of the screen, presented by MCI, the official telecommunications company of NASCAR. And there's trouble in turn number 1. 3 cars, 4 cars get together, and caution is on the Speedway. There you see Kevin LePage again. We had Shane Hall involved there. Total of 4 cars getting a piece of that incident.
You can see the 88 car there, Kevin LePage. The water is just pouring out, overflow on that car. He's running very hot.
And you know, people's probably wondering why water is running out below the windshield. A lot of times that's where they'll run the overflow hose. And one good thing about running it there is if the driver's not looking at a temperature gauge, which would be hard to do here, he can see the water puking out that overflow hose right there on his windshield.
Nicely put.
Can't change tires, Ricky.
And there you see the pit stop now for LePage and for Jerry Robertson again. Let's go to Kevin LePage's in-car camera, see what it looks like now out the rear. First off,
come down the front straightaway into turn 1.
You saw Glenn Allen break loose trying to avoid.
Eli, he got hit severely from the back. Glenn Allen really got turned from behind. That's what really started the wreck.
Mike Dillon also involved in that incident. There you see the work being done on Glenn Allen Jr.'s automobile, David Ift and the crew.
Trying to get that rear bumper off. I mean, he really got slammed from behind. You can see the back of the car is about 1.5 foot shorter than it was before he got hit.
Now there you saw him make that left-hand turn right there like he was going to the infield. The exit of pit road is actually off of turn 2.
Indeed it is, as we work caution here for the 10th time. You know, when we talk about the competitors in racing, the crew chiefs, team owners, we don't often have a chance to mention the other important people behind the scenes that bring motorsports television into your homes. The thousands of people who work the long hours and weekends to help bring the entertainment and the spirit of competition to you, the racing fan. And as you know, when we lose a member of our racing family, everyone feels a sense of loss, and the same is true for our television family. One of the men behind the scenes here at TNN who spent hours, days, and literally years on the road driving and engineering TNN's satellite uplink truck from track to track. He was a fellow named John Long. Those of us who knew him affectionately called him Up John because his craft was beaming television signals up into space and then back down to Earth and into your homes. Well, we lost John this week suddenly, without warning and without having a proper chance to say thanks and goodbye. And as usual, he was on the road, returning from a weekend of racing, preparing for a little rest and relaxation, and then off again to another race. To his wife, Kathleen, sons John and Michael, we offer our heartfelt sympathy and hope that they find strength in knowing that John is even closer to us now as we continue to beam the images of racing into the heavens, and that he is now there to care for them as they pass through. Just now, back to green here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Lap 172 on the board. We are 28 away from the next mandated NASCAR caution period. And Randy LaJoy still shows the way over Dick Trickle in second. Tim Fedewa in the 33 is running third. Todd Bodine and Elton Sawyer rounding out the top 5. Jeff Green is now in sixth. Mark Green is seventh. Buckshot Jones is eighth. Mike McLaughlin restarting ninth. Haven't talked much about Jason Keller. He is now in the top 10, and he started way back in 24th spot. Very quietly, the Slim Jim colors climbing up to the top 10 here today. And he's done a good job staying out of trouble.
Well, again, you know, I think his performance in qualifying certainly don't relate because of starting by points, but Jason Keller's car has always worked good on a flat, short track like this. He won Indianapolis. He was good at Richmond several weeks ago, so I think this type of racetrack really fits his style.
Well, it's just like in Darlington. He ran in the lead lap, was right up front, made a pit stop. The caution comes out the next lap. You got to have luck, too.
Steve Park just going around Phil Parsons. That's 11th spot now being battled for. Jeff Fuller is there as well in the number 47.
Phil Parsons started second. Second in the points, just not quite having the day here I'm sure he had hoped for.
Up front, no challenge yet for Randy LaJoy. As we watch the battles midway through the pack. Randy Porter, the 48, he's in the lead lap there, the green and white machine. He's right now going to be challenging for a top 13 or 14 spot. That is he in the 48.
Yeah, in the 47 there, Jeff Fuller is doing a good job of keeping in the lead lap right now. I think he has some adjustments to make on that car, but he's running a very good, steady race right at the moment.
Of course, they've got Ray Stonkus now on board as their chassis specialist. Used to work in the old days with Pete Hamilton with Chrysler Corporation, a really good chassis guy, and he's been working with that Sunoco team. There you see Elton Sawyer and Todd Bodine, the 38 and the 36. That's fourth and fifth spot that they're battling for.
Elton Sawyer just passed him the lap before we go on to see him there. Steve Park right now is getting a lot of attention from Parsons there as they go through the corner.
That's 11th spot. Steve Park said this is like some of the short tracks he used to run back home on Long Island. Also up through New England, Lee USA Speedway, Jennerstown Speedway. They're different mileage, obviously, but he said, I'm used to those tracks. Good scramble right there. Meanwhile, for the lead, Dick Trickle is inside of Randy LaJoie. This is lap 184.
Boy, that's a lot of experience right there in that 64 car. Dick Trickle, probably the winningest driver in America.
Again,
I bet he's won 1,000 races.
Oh, easy. First ran here 26 years ago. Came in, hadn't seen the place, finished second in a Harry Gant backup car.
Clear.
There you heard his spotter say clear, and he just moved back down the inside.
Well, what Trickle did there, he made a run at him. One thing he won't do is abuse his car to get by him this early in the race. He knows he's going to stop at just a few laps on competition yellow.
I think that's the thing. These guys, again, know they're going to get 4 good tires here shortly, so they can go out there and kind of get on limp. There you see Randy really with his hands full off of turn 4, real loose up off the corner.
They're exactly right. You can see him fishtail there. When he gets back in the throttle, Randy LaJoie's got his hands full right now with the loose race car.
I'm going to bet they're going to make some adjustments on it this caution.
Yeah, they'll work on it. I think LMA is getting a little nasty to handle.
And you know, Dick Trickle, you got to, you know, every time we do a race, we're talking about Trickle battling for the lead. And you got to remember Dennis Shoemaker, who owns Trickle's team, they operate on a limited budget.
Inside.
Here comes Trickle on the inside. He couldn't make it though. Randy LaJoie just got a better forward bite in the center part of the corner there.
In the last few weeks, Trickle is in the 64 going for the lead. He's gone from 20th to 13th to 8th and now 6th in points in the last 4 races.
Dick can get up under him, getting to the center of the corner, but Randy gets some momentum coming up off the corner.
We're 10 laps from a caution.
Randy LaJoie has to remember the big picture right now. He is fighting a loose race car. Dick Trickle's car is working very well on the bottom of the racetrack.
All right, here they go through 1 and 2. Right here, Randy's not quite as good up off the corner off turn 2 as he is good off of turn 4. There, Dick gets under going through 3 and 4.
And they got traffic now to deal with.
Yeah, they can't go through there side by side. They watch Trickle fall in line until they clear the flat traffic.
They go around Tim Steele in the 4. They've got to deal with the yellow 85 of Shane Hall. There he is, just ahead of the leaders.
7 laps to lap 200 right here, so 7 more laps of racing.
And there'll be a 5-lap period of caution, and then another 100 laps of racing. We're nowhere near done with this one.
You think going through the corner is important right now? The important part is what you do to the car when they stop with this 5-lap yellow. It's just a few moments from now. What they do will determine who wins this race.
It'll be their last time to make adjustments and their last set of tires to carry us to the end.
Inside of Shane Hall, putting him another lap down in the Lux number 85. Outside of Jason Jarrett.
Did you see Dick Trickle thread the needle right there?
Yeah.
He don't need a rocking chair. That boy's still here. Dick Trickle, I guess he's 55 years old right now, but don't tell him that. He thinks he's 23 today.
And Larry, you and I were talking with Dick earlier this afternoon. He said, I just love being at the racetrack.
He really does. This is the same car that he ran at Las Vegas. There you see him almost getting underneath Randy. Through turn 1 and 2. I believe if Dick can ever get that nose in front of him, he can go ahead and clear him. But as they go down the backstretch, Randy pulls ahead again.
Lap 198. A NASCAR mandated caution comes up in 2 laps. Trickle is there.
People in the booth are getting excited now. I'm telling you, folks, this is good. Dick Trickle is fighting Randy LaJoie right now. Randy is fighting just to stay in the racetrack.
Randy led that lap. Caution is in the hand of Carl Simmons. He'll display it next time by. It may well be Trickle. You're riding with Dick.
There you see they come off turn 4. Who's it going to be? I believe Trickle beats him to the line.
Trickle by inches at lap 200. Caution is on the Speedway.
Not one person sitting down in the grandstands right now. These people are standing and really enjoying great short track racing.
And we still got 100 laps to go.
We do that. We do that. Phew.
Look at the fans. They are waving and clapping and
these
cheering.
folks are.
That's some great racing.
I'm standing. I got a nice chair, but I've been standing all the way.
All right, what's the plan now, Matt Yoakum? What is Steve Bird and Billy Nasowitz and the guys going to do on Randy LaJoie's car?
Eli talked to them, and they said that, you know, Randy's complaining the car is just a tad loose. The bigger thing with the Phoenix Chevrolet is the car is running a little bit hot. They're going to pull the tape off the grill under this caution. Now, an update on Jeff Green. He was complaining he thought he might have had a right rear tire going down. His brother pulled up under the previous caution, looked at it, said, no, you're fine. He just thinks he heated them up when he spun on lap 117.
So caution is on the Speedway. 5 laps. They will not be scored. Everybody has a chance to make their stops at a relatively leisurely pace. That's the running order with 100 laps to go. Hey, have you had a chance yet to check out the new Sony Hardcore 4x4 game? That's right, for Sony PlayStations, TNN Motorsports knows that if you are a racer, you're going to like these games. 6 different kinds of handling and wheel suspensions. You'll feel the fender crunching, and heck, the game gets so real, you're going to have to scrape the mud off your TV sets. What you're going to have to do. It's the Hardcore 4x4 for Sony PlayStation. Available now. Well, what do you think they had to do, Larry Mack, on Randy LaJoie's car?
Well, let's see if we can talk to Randy. Randy LaJoie, this is Larry McReynolds with TNN. Can you talk to me a second? Randy LaJoie, this is Larry McReynolds, TNN. Can you talk to me for just a second? I guess he's not talking or we're not transmitting, Eli.
One of the two, but nevertheless, they had a good bit of work to be done there. And there is Randy as he rides around in the Phenom machine. Again, these laps are not counting. All of this caution, you'll come back under position. I think we've got Randy ready to go now, Larry. Let's pick up the mic again and see.
Randy LaJoie, this is Larry McReynolds with TNN. Can you talk to me?
Well, apparently not quite communicating, but we'll try and work on the loose ends and see what we can do here in just a bit. But I'll tell you, we got 100 laps now, and we'll come back and talk about the conditions that these teams are facing. Lots more to go. Hope you can stay with us. Don't go away. TNN Motorsports is live at the birthplace of the NASCAR stars, the Hickory Motor Speedway. Back underway here at Hickory Motor Speedway, and as quickly as they dropped the green, Randy LaJoie took the lead, brought Tim Fedewa, his corporate teammate, with him, relegating Dick Trickle back to third. And here's what happened as Trickle was leading going into the corner.
See Trickle going down the back straightaway here in the red car. Watch him wash out right here. Randy LaJoie right on the spot there, takes the bottom side, and along comes his teammate Fedewa on the bottom to get by Trickle as they start off towards the back straightaway.
A lot of traffic for some of the teams working off the corner, but not so for LaJoie for the time being. There's some of the traffic. You've got Green and Buckshot Jones. That is 6th and 7th right now. Buckshot's got it. Jeff Green wants it.
You know, Eli, just before we had the break just a second ago, we thought that Randy LaJoie was extremely loose. We talked to his crew chief. He said he wasn't going to do a lot to the car. He burned the right rear up trying to get by this car, Jeff Green, number 8.
And you know, that's a good thing about the way they pit these cars. You can sit there for 3 or 4 laps. You don't have to make spur-of-the-moment decisions. You can look at your tires and maybe make adjustments while you're still sitting there, where if it was a normal pit stop, you don't get to look at your tires till the car's already back on the racetrack.
We're at lap 212. All of those machines on the lead lap. That is 5th, 6th, 7th spot up for grabs. Jeff Green on the move. On the bump.
He's giving Buckshot a little shot there going in the corner. Jeff Green got into it pretty good there, but we can see Buckshot Jones does not get rattled very easily in the double zero.
Unscheduled stop, Phil Parsons. We're riding with him down the pit lane. That's an unscheduled stop for Phil Parsons now at lap 214.
That's your second place man in the point standings.
Matt Yoakum, what was the problem?
Phil Parsons came in just for a quick stop. What happened during the caution, they put a piece of screen over the front grille that had been knocked out. Well, out of those few green flag laps we've had, that screen had already started to come off. It was about to fly off, so they came in and stopped, and then we got a spin in turn 2.
We do, as Buckshot Jones goes around. Jeff Green was right there with him. Caution is on the Speedway, lap 217. Oh, there goes that faulty windshield wiper deal again, but it looks like not a funny situation though for Buckshot.
Eli, that spin started 3 laps ago. You can see Jeff Green hammering just a little bit on Buckshot Jones there in the double zero. Finally, it was deadly.
Here it is again. Let's Go back a few moments.
There you see they come down the front straightaway. Jeff Green gets to the inside of Buckshot. There you see Elton Sawyer in front of Buckshot. Jeff gets under him. Buckshot kind of just come down on him right there.
Jeff
so there
Green
really wasn't no place for
below
Jeff
the
to
yellow
go.
line there. He had the left side wheels all the way under the yellow line on the inside, the flat part of the racetrack. He really didn't cause that.
So we are under caution. Lap 217. Caution for the 12th time today. Randy LaJoie's punch continues to lead here at Hickory. Welcome back, everybody. That is Randy LaJoie leading in the FINA colors. Lap 224 of 300. Meanwhile, in the corner, there's problem. Shane Hall, turn number 1. Caution on the Speedway. Lap 225. It'll be 226 when the leaders come by. Shane Hall in the wall. Turn number 1. Meanwhile, Steve Bird, team manager for Randy LaJoie, watching this all unfold down on the pit lane.
Birdie, a great day for your team, running 1-2. Can Randy hold off Tim for the win?
I don't know. This is great for base motorsports. Shows how hard these guys work and everything, you know. When they wanted 2, I guess I always told them, you know, whatever goes on, but both finish, you know. So we're pretty good. We burnt the right rear up past the green on that last 100. I think we're all right. You know, we'll see what happens. Timmy's pretty good. I don't know what to say, you know, as long as they don't wreck each other, you know. Hi, Dad.
Well, Randy LaJoie has finished twice. Twice he's finished second here and a third. Last year, Tim Fedewa finished 12th. It'd be a great day if they could finish 1-2 today.
Indeed it would, but it's also a long way from the finish. There are the numbers that Randy LaJoie has enjoyed. You can smile, Randy. Go ahead. 68 starts since 1994, and he's had a passel full of victories, a couple of them already this year. He's an interesting personality. Nice guy, but he can get a little ornery. He can get very, very serious when it needs to be.
Very intense individual, but a hard racer. You know, he gets everything out of that race car that it'll give him, and then he reaches down sometimes and gets a little extra.
If you're buying a racehorse, you walk in that stall, you want him to react. I'm going to tell you that. And that's what Randy LaJoie is. He's a full-fledged racer.
You know, once in a while, Birdie has said he's had to pull the ropes a little bit, but you know what? It's a lot easier to pull a rope than it is to try to push it.
Good line right there. That's Larry McReynolds who shares the thoughts as the field, as you hear, getting the 1 to go signal.
71 green laps to the end. Watch your bands, clean up your tires, outside traffic, NASCAR.
That's the spotter just relaying the pertinent information. That's Chip Warren, one of the NASCAR Busch Series officials, with the stop and go paddle in hand as he directs traffic at the end of the pit lane. Lap 228 on the board.
You heard the spotter tell him to clean those tires up again. Once they've run these tires under green flag conditions and slowed down under caution, it picks up rubber, and it'll make the car feel pretty ill until that rubber comes off.
It's as though the judge has walked into the courtroom. All the fans rise together to watch the restart.
You see Phil Parsons rocking away there on that start. Gets ahead of Randy LaJoie, trying to make up a lap right now.
Phil Parsons in 20th spot. Trying to stay just ahead and be on the tail end of that lap. He is at the tail end of 1 lap down, Phil Parsons is. So again, he's not on the tail end of the lead lap, but he was 2 laps down. Is now on the tail end of 1 lap down.
Boy, something's got to give here. Randy LaJoie is in a hurry right now, and he has a bunch of competition. You're riding the Dick Trickle.
Trouble in turn number 1. Up into the wall goes Tracy Leslie this time. To the stripe, Phil cannot get the lap back. And we are under caution. There are the Lysol colors for Tracy Leslie in the wall, lap 232. Phil Parsons tried to stay only 1 lap down, couldn't do it. He is again 2 laps in arrears as LaJoie beat him back to the stripe. Caution number 14 of the afternoon. Still have a lot of racing to go. We're only at lap 233 of 300. We'll be right back. There you see the remains of the Lysol Pontiac as the Hensley team will survey the damage. There you see Tracy Leslie moving away. He's talking with Jeff Hensley. Hensley is with Hubert Hensley, the owners of that racing team, and they're discussing together what transpired. So Tracy Leslie out of the event, along with Mike Olson, Tim Bender, and Jerry Robertson.
Randy LaJoy, this is Larry McReynolds with TNN. Do you read me?
Gotcha, Larry and TNN.
Okay, bud, you're at the front of the pack. You got your teammate behind you, 65 laps to go. That car's still kind of working like you'd like it to.
It's good enough to put us up front. We're in pretty good shape. I heated up my good years when I was up on the outside of the 8 and the 64 car, but I'm trying to baby this right rear and see if I got another 60 laps in me.
We've heard of a lot of water temperature problems today. Everything looking good on your water temperature?
Yeah, these guys on the race team, they opened up the front a little bit, put a couple holes in it, just get some air in it. As long as we're out front, we'll be okay.
Okay, bud, good luck and take care.
That was Randy LaJoy, and you saw very briefly the holes that they had there. There you see, right there underneath the word Monte Carlo, the extra air vents that they have. By the way, tomorrow on TNN Motorsports, you can get an update on all the latest news in the world of racing on race day. Rick Benjamin will have the results, highlights, plus a whole lot more. That is tomorrow at noon Eastern, right here on TNN Motorsports. And also coming up tomorrow on TNN Motorsports, NASCAR Garage. It's a weekly half-hour look behind the scene at the people and the machines of NASCAR racing. That's coming up tomorrow morning at 11:30 Eastern Time, also on TNN Motorsports. We mentioned it earlier, but it's certainly worthy of a return mention. Next weekend, the NASCAR Busch and Winston Cup teams heading to the Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth. CBS Sports will have live coverage for you a week from today. The Coca-Cola 300, that is Saturday, April the 5th at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. And then the very next day, a week from tomorrow, Sunday, April the 6th, it'll be the Interstate Batteries 500, also from the Texas Motor Speedway. All live on CBS Sports. That's coming up next weekend from Texas Motor Speedway.
See Tracy Leslie's car there, the 63, the rear wheel come completely off that car. That's why he spun and got into the wall.
So at lap 240, 60 laps from the finish. This one is anything but settled. Stop. Don't touch that dial. We're coming back. There you see the Hickory Motor Speedway down below. That is the Catawba Memorial Gardens, a cemetery that overlooks turns 1 and 2, and that is the final resting spot of racing great Bobby Isaac, who is interred just over there behind turns 1 and 2. And you know, this is a very interesting track. We signed on the air, Larry, about the personality of a short track. This is one of the tracks, and buddy, you've been in races. I've broadcast races here where we've had to stop and throw the red flag middle of the day because there has been a funeral going on in the Catawba Memorial Gardens. It's an agreement they have in the racetrack that when the mourning family arrives, they throw the red flag so the graveside service can go on without the drone of race cars in the background.
Exactly. That's, you know, it's only right that they do that. That graveyard's been there. And let me tell you, racing can wait.
Indeed so. One of the interesting side stories to the Hickory Motor Speedway. Of course, the big story today, Base Motorsports. Randy LaJoy, Tim Fedowa, they are first and second here this afternoon as we work this caution flag. It is the 14th of the afternoon. It's pretty darn good numbers right there as the field now gets the 1 to go signal with Randy LaJoy trying to get his 3rd victory of the season. Of course, he's got some pretty powerful help down there. You know, Matt, we've talked about the team manager, if you will, Steve Bird. I mentioned Billy Nasowitz a little while ago also.
Eli, you know, if you look back through the history books, 25 years ago today, Billy Nasowitz was in the pits here at Hickory calling the shots for the late Richie Evans. They went on to win that day, and he told me that he'd like nothing better to give him a great thrill to put Randy LaJoy in victory lane here in one of the traditional tracks on the Busch Circuit.
Indeed, some good history here at this track. Race cars and racing personalities alike. And we are back under green, lap 245 on the board.
Well, Phil Parsons got a great jump the first time when they started back after that little break here, but you can see Randy LaJoy said none of this the second time out.
I think he knew what to expect that time and shut the door on him in a hurry.
And Phil's still 2 laps down. Dick Trickle is on the move again. He's trying to close in. There you see the 64, that red machine just working the inside of the racetrack around some traffic. There's Dick. The 43 not on the lead lap, Dennis Setzer, but the man 36 is Todd Bodine. A little squirrely off the corner there.
Todd Bodine, you can see his car's in very, very good shape. He hadn't really hit anybody today. He's leading in the point standings. I'm sure he just wants a great finish here today at Hickory.
Now, we bragged earlier on number 57, Jason Keller. There he is, closing even up, but more on the leaders now. Keller has picked up a ton of positions today, 17 spots that he has picked up, and his car is remarkably clean, which is a heck of an accomplishment at any short track.
The thing about it, he's got a good race car, but it's a track like this where it's so hard to pass, the closer you get to the front, the harder it is to get by the next car in front of you.
Indeed, but the Slim Jim bunch doing well. If you're a Tracy Leslie fan, he is back on the racetrack now, many laps down after the accident of earlier. But Jeff Hensley and the boys have worked on the Lysol team car to get it back on the Speedway. That's a good sixth place battle right there between Jason Keller, the 57, Jeff Green behind him in the 8, Mike McLaughlin in the Royal Oak charcoal car, number 34, having a super run today. It's been a bit of a touch and go start to their 97 season, having a good run today.
You know, you talk about all these cars. We've run 250 laps, and we still have got 18 cars showing on the lead lap.
Of course, a lot of cautions will help in that. When you're about to go a lap down, a caution will come out and save you in many instances.
There you see him trying to go 3 deep through 3 and 4. That just won't work here, will it, buddy?
No, I was just watching Jeff Green got into Phil Parsons really hard as they come through the corner there. It was just a racing tout, but I'll tell you what, it's about turning around. See, he's still working on Phil Parsons. Phil made an unscheduled stop just a little while ago under the green. He's 2 laps down, but he's fighting like a tiger right now. Second place in the points. He can't just roll over and play dead.
That's Johnny Chapman there, the 89, with problems as he limps down the back straightaway and towards turn number 3. He's had a tough day.
Very, very tough. 2 spins. Got into the wall down here with... I think it was Shane Hall earlier, so he's had a pretty tough day. Looks like he's done though now.
Right, he was involved with Mike Olson and Shane Hall earlier, and he does make it around to the pit lane, so we'll stay under green. There goes Keller again, trying to get around Dennis Setzer in the 43. Dennis is not on the lead lap. Good scramble for a spot. That's for 6.
See Jason Keller there in the Slim Jim car. He is really working on Jeff Green. Really smooth back in the throttle. Jason Keller is running a super race today.
The harder these guys have to race like this, the more it's just using their tires up more and more as they run.
Meanwhile, up front, there you have the battle for the lead among the corporate teammates. Randy LaJoy in the 74, Tim Fedewa in the 33, both driving for Base Motorsports.
Steve Bird takes a drink of water and says, you better not wreck either one of those cars.
You know what, Fedewa, one of the deals this year, and they really worked hard to rectify it this week. Very honestly, they just didn't get really good pit stops in the first few races this year. It was really a major problem. And Tim said the guys practiced pit stops all week long. And though that may or may not be a huge story today because of the way the yellows were thrown and the scoring stopped for 5 laps, it certainly is going to be a story next week and in weeks to come.
Eli, we're talking about the 2 lead cars, but just behind them there, you see who's coming. Dick Trickle is moving in right now towards the lead.
For those of you tuning in, expecting to see This Week in Country Music at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, you'll be seeing it in its entirety as soon as this event from Hickory Motor Speedway concludes. They are down to the final 36 laps of the Galaxy Foods 300. So again, This Week in Country Music in its entirety as soon as we crown a winner here at Hickory.
Larry, it looks to me like Dick Trickle may have his car set up for long runs. The further they go, the better that car works. And right now, he's moving in on the front 2 cars. He took the lead with just a few laps before the 100-lap mark a while ago for that competition yellow. He's working.
His car is really working through the middle of the corner. Fedewa Trickle's car's working good through the middle of the corner, but Joy's just got enough bite up off the corner that he pulls those guys just a little bit up off turn 4. They're pretty much nose to tail right there as they go down the front stretch.
Meanwhile, old Todd Bodine just championing along in 4th spot right now. Another very consistent run for him as the leader in the NASCAR Busch Series point standings.
I'm going to speculate right now that loose condition that Randy LaJoie has is coming back because he's actually holding 2nd and 3rd place up.
We've got about 70 laps on these tires, and you know it's about this time in the 2nd segment that his tires really begin to go away.
It was, exactly. Lap 269. LaJoie the leader, Feeder was 2nd, Trickle is 3rd, Todd Bodine is 4th, Jeff Green is 5th, Elton Sawyer is 6th, Jason Keller 7th, Mike McLaughlin runs in 8th. You've got 9th spot going to Mark Green, and 10th, a good run for Randy Porter.
Well,
and now
Feeder
2nd spot. Oh, and there's trouble on the main straightaway. Randy Porter with a lot of smoke from behind his automobile. Everything happens at once. And 2nd spot, Dick Trickle.
Dick Trickle moved the 33 car out of the way there. He just touched Feeder just enough to get him a little bit sideways, made that move into 2nd. Todd Bodine is now moving in, trying to make that pass too.
And pulling onto the pit lane, Randy Porter in the UniFirst uniforms entry. There he is. We were just saying how great a run he was having. He was in the top 10. No sooner we say that than smoke erupts from beneath that automobile. Now, the battle heating up right there. Fedor, Todd Bodine, that's 3rd and 4th.
You watch Tim Fedor's car in the center part of the corner there. It looks like Todd Bodine may have just a little bit better car as they start down in the corner. But boy, it's going to be tough. They make contact there. You can see the 2 cars were looking back from Dick Trickle's car. The 2 cars made pretty heavy contact in the center part of the corner.
Now in the last segment, remember it was at lap 200, which would mean this time around at lap 300 that Trickle took the lead by inches on LaJoie. Could we be setting up for a similar scenario? We'll find out. The battle for the lead continues. Don't leave us. We're coming right back. Welcome back, everybody. And the cheering you are hearing is from Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. Their favorite grandfather has taken the lead here at Hickory. Dick Trickle is now leading in the Galaxy Foods 300. Here's how he did it.
Okay, you're riding with Dick Trickle down in the corner. You can see Randy LaJoie in the 74. They pick up the throttle. Here comes Trickle on the inside. Gets a good run up out of the corner. They head down into turn 1. Now, right now, he makes a pretty impressive move. As they start down the back straightaway, they're side by side. Trickle just keeps inching away.
And going into turn number 3, Dick Trickle grabbed the lead. So for the 2nd time today, but maybe for the most important time today, with 14 laps to go, Trickle has the advantage over Randy LaJoie and Tim Fedor. There's a lot of traffic to negotiate. Matt, what's the feeling like down in Trickle's pit right now?
Eli, you can cut the tension with a knife. They've been in this position a couple of times over the past year. Remember Milwaukee, and then back at Las Vegas. Brian Shaver, you've been in this spot before. Can you hold on and finally break through, get a victory today?
Well, Dorloop Chevrolet's got a good running going today, no matter what happens. I just hope we can make it to the end where we're at.
You've got that Tim Fedor car knock on your door. Can you hold him off?
I think we're a little better than what Randy is on the long run. I just hope we can make it to the end.
So there you see what's going on in 2nd spot behind Dick Trickle. And like you said, the long runs, that was something we saw earlier. Oh, and Jeff Green in the 8th. Here goes Todd Bodine, who was inside. They'll swap positions in 4th and 5th.
Tim Fedor in the 33 car is quicker than Randy LaJoie, but Randy has got the preferred line on the outside, and he does not want to wreck his teammate. But Fedor, I think, could run Dick Trickle down if he could ever get by Randy LaJoie.
9 laps to go. 9 laps to go. Dick Trickle in his 51st career NASCAR Busch Series start.
Still coming.
There's Trickle.
A lot of lap traffic.
He's right behind Shane Hall, getting held up a moment by Hall.
He almost made a collision there on the back end of Shane Hall as they come out of the corner. One thing he does not need right now is lap traffic.
Meanwhile, Fedor wants 2nd spot. And if he can get around LaJoy, can Fedor chase down Trickle in 7 laps?
I think Dick Trickle has a problem. He made contact with Shane Hall, and he seems to be backing up with the 2 cars running second and third now.
Only 2.5 miles to go. 7 more laps around this track. 7 laps on this track equals 2.5 miles.
What Dick Trickle needs is exactly what's going on right there, though. He needs those guys to keep racing each other hard. As you see Jeff Green keep trying to stick his nose up in there.
Have to go. You're okay. You're okay.
Lap 295.
Buddy, Jeff Green's car's not working too bad right now, but that's second green.
He's trying to make the move on the outside there for 3rd spot.
He's not going to get the inside. If he goes around him, it's going to have to be on the outside.
He'd have to have a bulldozer to go by on the inside. Look at Jeff Green now making a move on 10 feet away down the back straightaway.
That would be 3rd spot. You're also watching there 5th and 6th place. Now back up to Fedor and Green. Behind 2nd place, LaJoy.
I can tell you this, Dick Trickle made contact. Once he found out he didn't have a tire problem, he has checked out right now in the lead. But look at his great race for 3rd.
2 to go this time. 2 more times around for Dick Trickle. You know, a year ago, he had the best car here and lost an oil pump belt.
Whoa, heavy contact there by Jeff Green.
Now they come to the white flag. Dick Trickle, who finished 2nd at Charlotte in May of 1996, and 2nd just a couple of weeks ago in Las Vegas here on TNN, is trying in his 51st start to win his first NASCAR Busch Series race. Dick Trickle and Shoemaker Racing Team going to victory lane. He led twice today for 25 laps. Great scramble for 2nd between Base Motorsports, but look at that. And what a smile, I'm sure, is on the face of the White Knight. Yeah, there he is. Dick Trickle waving, smiling. And he's going to be joining us in victory lane, a winner, as he has been everywhere else in his career. Now it's in the NASCAR Busch Series. We're coming right back to hear from today's winner. Well, how about it? Smiles on the faces all around. Dick Trickle still accepting the accolades. He has his IROC helmet on, the International Race of Champions, for which Dick Trickle is one of the test drivers, along with Jim Sauter and Dave Marcus. As a matter of fact, he's going from here, he said, to test the IROC machines next week. So Dick Trickle, a busy man. Crowd is just eating it up. I mean, this has been such a pop, and they may still love Randy LaJoy and Fedor and Green and Bodine and all the rest. This, though, is a hugely popular victory, and then Dixon, no rush. He's going to savor this one. 51st career start. He'd won a couple of Busch poles, 3 Busch poles, actually, but this is the first win, Matt Yoakum.
Well, Dick, you said the hearing may be messed up, but boy, the driving sure is. Congratulations. 51 starts, finally, your first.
Well, you know, I think a guy runs 50 races, he ought to win one, you know. And I haven't run a lot of Busch, but I got to get a little credit to the Durham people, you know, Sonny and Mark out there, you know, because they fund us. And, you know, Brian, the crew chief, and, you know, LW, Ted, you know, Jake, all the guys on the crew, you know, Chris. I'm telling you, I got a super bunch of guys there. Ray, my fabricator, came here to pit today, and he usually got to stay in the shop working on the cars. But I'd like to say hi to my Wins Cup crew up there. They're up in Richmond getting my car ready for Texas, which we got a car going there, too. And all the experience I'm getting with them guys, you know, helps this, and I think Busch helps Cup helps Busch. You don't want an old man like me to get rusty, do you?
Hey, you know, you told me before the race today, Dick, you said, boy, it seems like in Milwaukee, one kind of slipped away. What was going through your mind when you had the little incident with Shane Hall with less than 20 to go?
Well, the track wasn't tearing up here, so I thought, you know, I ain't got no excuses this time, and it's a deal where I did a little, you know, I don't know what he did there. Hey, there's a big winner, Jeff. Thank you. No, I tell you what, I said Dick Trickle needs to win one for his family. You know, my wife, she stays there and keeps track of scoring and all that. And instead of watching the tapes, she does like a 3-page deal, and I can read the whole race after it's done because she listens to radio and TV. And, you know, I need to win one for my wife and kids and family. All my kids are here. They can't be too far away. There she is right here. The daughter, right here. Come on. My 2 kids are here. Right here, my boy. Mickey, Todd, Chad, and It's just been a long time coming. But I need to win one for my fans, my family. They stuck with me through thick and thin, you know, and I need to win one for Dick Trickle.
Hey, Dick, you know, you started the day 6th in points. You're going to take over 5th. You hadn't planned on running the entire schedule last year. Looks like you guys are going to be maybe running for the points now.
Well, you know, the Heilig-Meyer Ford with Junior and them guys is my priority. So this has to take second to everything. And, you know, we did make Myrtle Beach. You know, Junior let me take late practice off if we ran early practice good at Michigan one year. And last year, and I went down to Myrtle Beach and run that race from the back. And, you know, but we'll see how the Winds Cup, you know, that's my primary goal is get that Heilig-Meyer car going. These guys can keep this one going for me.
Well, tears of jubilation running wild down here in Victory Lane, Eli.
It is indeed a very, very emotional time. Of course, Dick's nephew, Chris Trickle, still hospitalized in Las Vegas after being the victim of a drive-by shooting there a while ago. Maybe this is the kind of medicine he needs. At least we can only hope and pray. Well, we certainly appreciate your saying that. We love to bring you NASCAR Busch Series racing like we've had here today at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Matt Yoakum is making his way for the garage. He's caught up with Randy LaJoy.
Well, Randy, second place. You told me if you treated Ellie Mae fine, she would do you well, and you almost got a victory today.
Yeah, we wore out a little too quick on those runs. Hey, to finish second to Dick Trickle on a short track, he's a legend. You know, Shoemakers are good people. I'm glad for those guys. They needed to win, but they didn't have to beat us. But he was a little bit better. About 20 to go than we were. I told the guys not to adjust the car. I thought I burned the tires up the second run up on the outside of the 8 car, but you know, this Phoenix Chevrolet Monte Carlo run really good, and boy, I had a blast today. I had a lot of fun.
Hey, more importantly, you gained a lot of points on both Todd Bodine and Phil Parsons.
Todd probably finished right behind us. He was back there in the mirror, so you know, it's still a long season. We almost had a shot at another win. Teammate was right behind us, man. Well, what a good show. I enjoyed it.
Hey, another great day on a traditional short track. Let's catch up with Todd Bodine here in a minute.
All right, we'll be getting a thought from Todd Bodine here in just a bit. Randy LaJoy, by the way, led 255 laps today. But, you know, they don't give you points for that, basically, in the Busch Series.
The brass ring is what you're after.
Indeed it was. They're the unofficial finishing positions. Dick Trickle, Randy LaJoy, his base motorsport teammate Tim Fedewa, Jeff Green, and Todd Bodine. Elton Sawyer had a super run today. We talked about Jason Keller. He comes home in 7th. There you see Hermie Sadler, Buckshot Jones champion. Oh, Greg Sachs had a good run after getting caught up in that early caution. He finishes 15th. Phil Parsons down in 19th, and Kevin LePage champion home in 20th spot. Taking you all the way back, that's where Jason the Jet Jarrett wrapped up in 21st position. On down the line to some of the fellows who had problems. Poor old Tim Bender. Every one of those days just didn't pay to get out of bed. He had a tough day today. And then the final positions going to the 61 of Mike Olson. Todd Bodine came home unofficially in 5th. There he is.
Well, our point leader came home 5th today. Another top 5 run for you here. Wasn't a win, but more importantly, that bigger picture of the title.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's the thing. If you don't have a car to win the race, you got to be there at the end of the race to get the most points. And our car was a little off. You know, we started the race a little bit on the loose side. We made some changes before the race, and it was a little too loose. And the first competition caution, we were able to tighten it back up, make some major adjustments, and actually got a little too tight. And the second one, we loosened it up and got it a little too loose. So we chased it a little bit all day, but you know, the Stanley Pontiac was there all day. It was right in the front. It was a little bit of a handful, but, you know, hey, that's what we get paid the big bucks for, I guess. But we're real happy. Harnage and all the people sponsor us. We got a lot of good people supporting us and a good crew. And, you know, to come out of Hickory still leading the points, we're pretty happy with it.
They're pretty happy with that indeed, as they now go on to Texas.
And it is a 48-point lead now for Todd Bodine over Randy LaJoy and Phil Parsons. We'll take a look at the points for you when we come back to Hickory in a moment.